Hello and welcome to the Dead Air Dudes. I'm Izzy.
I'm Raka, and you people, thank God, are not Joe. Joe from the Netflix series You, which this is season 3.
Actually, try again. It's season 4.
My bad. Yes, it is season 4, part 1.
Yes, season 4, part 1 just came out. What was it? I do believe on Thursday, right? Was it Thursday night?
Yeah, just arrived, fresh out of the kitchen.
Fresh out the kitchen. February 9th. I do believe part 2 premieres on what, March 9th or 10th? Or around there. And it's going to be quasi spoiler filled. So
Yes. So if you want to listen to the rest of this, and thanks for everybody out there who's listening, subscribing, liking. Remember, we are deaderdudes@gmail.com. And for all the good listeners and all your support and advice, listen to us after you binge it, because I do believe we can straight say up front it is binge worthy.
yes, it is.
Okay, first off, without getting straight into spoilers, they take a little bit of a spin here.
Yes.
Where Joe is now actually humanized.
Even more so than he was being. It's tough to.
Am I wrong? He's the good guy.
Yes, we have actually found probably the most, the biggest group of sociopaths. I mean, that are quite possibly worse than Joe Goldberg.
They are cold-hearted killers who commit crimes against everybody under the 2%.
Eat the rich.
Eat the rich. So, without jumping ahead of ourselves, Joe is in London, and he first made a pit stop in France.
Yes.
As he was continuing his stalking ways to the 15th love of his life.
Yes, Marianne.
And this is where he kind of makes an epiphany.
Yeah. I mean, for all you guys who maybe forgot, a quick synopsis of the ending of season 3 had Joe and Love pretty much a fight to the death, in which
it's fantastic.
Yeah, which before that, Love tells Marianne, his current obsession
yes.
that Joe is who he is and she better run because her life and her child's life are in danger. And Marianne takes that to heart and bounces. Love tries to kill Joe. Joe survives, ends up killing Love, burns down the house, cuts off his toes, and basically leaves himself for dead. As far as everyone knows, Joe Goldberg is dead. And he goes to France, in which he finds out that Marianne moved to London, or at least was in London for a while, selling her
paintings and stuff.
And she has an art show coming, or an art festival or something. She's supposed to show up, in which Joe goes and, well, here we get spoilers. So go take it away, Rocco.
Well, he gets this moment where I guess the epiphany I refer to is he realizes that the love of his life he's been stalking is scared shitless out of him. Mm-hmm. And he is doing the opposite. Instead of showing his best self and showing how cavalier and responsible and how he can be caring, he terrifies the hell out of her, and he sees it. So to prove his self-worth, he corners her and lets her go.
Yeah. To prove
that's pivotal.
Change, he says that he lets her go, and he is not going to kill anyone anymore, and he's going to be a changed and reformed man. So in London, first of all, if you guys have not seen You, as good as the show is and as fun it is, you also do need to kind of turn your brain off a couple times and just go with it. All right. So it's not, he is very lucky. He does get rid of a bunch of stuff, but some stuff is a little over the top. It's admit. I mean,
Well, the stuff itself is not rediscovering the wheel. What it is, what really for me catches you in is his narrative.
yeah. Well, I think the Penn Badgley plays him perfectly, and I think the fact that they bring you in and make, I said from the beginning, make Joe a sympathetic character, especially in this season where he's essentially the good guy of
And,
in a viper's nest.
and if you find any humor in it, I'm not disparaging the character, the actor, or anything else. He's not what you would think of a suave, attractive, super attractive. He's good. He's an okay looking guy. I'm just saying he gets around a lot for being a sociopath and a crazy. Now he endears himself on many levels beyond the physical, but he's Lucky Joe, if I could just say. I mean, everybody wants him for some freaking reason. It's insane. It's actually, the weirder he gets, the more ass he gets. It's just no other way to put it. So, without getting into the entire word for word episode synopsis here, he's falling into a rich crowd. Really, the 2%.
Like the richest
Uber rich.
in London. You have an actual princess. You have a guy who wrote a book who is running for office. You have land.
Oh yeah, estate owners, and you have sprawling estates, and you have social media people. You have influencers. You have he's in
old money.
He's been dragged in.
Yeah.
And he tried his best to not get sucked into his old ways, to not stalk, although he can't help it, and get. So the thing is, he gets all tied up here, and what the series in season 4 now morphs into, if you will, I would like to dub as Murder Mystery Party meets Joe Goldberg.
Yeah.
Or you could say this is Joe Berg's feature in Knives Out.
Yeah, I mean, and some would say, okay, I mean, if it's on the first 3 seasons of, it's like, okay, I mean, what more can Joe do? And now it's almost like a reinvigorated Joe, a almost a twist on the tired stalking theme, or whatever the show was about before. And now you have Joe. It's like you could take this character and this actor and put him in any situation, and I think it'd be compelling. I mean, so I think.
But yeah, we as the audience sit back and we watch Evil versus Evil.
Yes.
And basically, you could also subtitle it as the lesser of the evil. And you're pulling for, you hope, you're pulling for Joe, knowing he's not absolved. He is a cold-hearted, self-righteous killer in his own right. He's just got his own twisted things. Now, because he seems to have turned a page in redemption and is on the other side of goodness versus the new elitist evil, you kind of pull for him, and things get obviously twisted, convoluted, and you are now brought through the first, was it 4 or 5 episodes?
5 episodes.
5 episodes of yourself as the audience wondering who's setting him up. So this is the whole, we're not really, breaking new ground. Everybody knows this. If you get maybe 2 episodes deep, he's being set up to take the fall for a murder. Actually, you know this from episode 1. And now you're on this journey with Joe, his inner thoughts.
Who's trying to set him up?
And who's trying to set him up. Now, the person who's trying to set him up obviously knows his background. So let's get into it. Who do you suspect it is?
Well, I mean, I really don't want to spoil it, but they kind of do show who it is towards the end, or midway through the 5th episode, and you find out who it is. But what I found interesting, and maybe it's just they just showed Joe, the show you characters tend to come back from the dead. Okay,
that's my whole point. I don't think it is only the person who they reveal it to be in episode 5.
And if you saw the trailer for part two, one character in particular popped up, and I'm like, wait a second. Which, if again, no spoilers, if that character does show up, it would be absolutely fantastic. And
It should be. I was actually wondering myself
I
through the
would I would
first,
actually lose my shit.
which would be awesome. Not that you lose your shit, I'll get you good diapers. But I mean, I actually was thinking maybe around episode 3 or 4, is the phone really in his head? Is
I'm
that a form of his consciousness, like
you
messing
know
with him?
that's something that I thought about later on, but at the beginning, I'm like, I was standing by it. I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, all right, okay, whoever this person is has his phone number, right? And or found them on the app on this app, and how would he be automatically on this app unless he? I don't remember him being on this app in previous seasons, unless it's just something that they're gonna just glaze over, you know?
Well, here's the other thing. Spoiler alerts, of course, guys. We're too deep into it now. There was a private eye who was hired to not only track Joe but kill him.
Yes,
Love's family hired him.
exactly.
Um, Probably Love's dad, because they split up and the mom was left with destitute with no money. Could this very same person, the private eye, be blackmailed, bought out, or whatever by that person who was revealed to spill not only his history, who he is, lay off of him, I need him, don't kill him, I'll pay you.
I suppose it's possible,
That's where I was going with that.
but
That's the rocket theory, you've heard it here, if I'm correct.
there are, first of all, which I had forgotten, this is the last season on Netflix. Now, there are currently 3 books, because obviously it's based on books. The third book I have not read yet. The first 2 books, third book I have, and the fourth book is coming out in April. Okay. So
Coincident.
well, it's not a coincidence, but yeah. And so I read a review. I think Good Morning America, one of those websites had a quick review, not spoilery, but mentioned how in this part two you will see Kate's father, played by Greg Kinnear, I do believe, and
Really?
there's a lot more surprises. It's a very satisfying ending that ends up open ended. So but that it's bananas. So yeah.
So, okay. All of you listening, obviously you tune in because you're fans of the show. So are we. It was one of the best shows out there because it dared to be evil
Yeah.
unapologetically and was entertaining as hell. So it is tough by the 4th season. What else new can you do? What new spin? How can you
That's
make
why
this?
it was at the beginning. I'm like, damn, really? They're gonna go this way? But then I'm thinking about it, and by the second episode, I was digging the whole new, not new Joe because he's still Joe, but the whole new direction of the series, in which Joe's not in control.
No, he's being fucked with.
Exactly. He's not the fucker. He's the fucky. Well, that's not terrible, but you know what I mean. But you know what I mean. He's not in control. He's being played. And it puts him in a fish out of water situation, which is very, very interesting.
I think you just came up with the title of this episode right there.
The fucker or the fucky?
The fucker or the fucky? I mean, you could blurt that out what you want with some asterisks and stuff.
Right.
But I mean, listen. All right, so you guys, you're watching out there. The last question I have, more of a exploratory. Let's see what happens here. What are your thoughts about Joe at the end? Does he make it out? Does he get captured? Does he bite the dust?
Well, look, Joe is the kind of
He's a survivor.
he is a survivor, but he is let's face it, he has problems. He's that crazy. He's
Yes,
not. He
that's
is
the understatement of
he's
the year.
not a sane
He's
person.
not well.
He escapes this situation, which in some way or another, he will. He will, one way or other. What's to say he doesn't continue? He can go to Timbuktu and fall in love with the local princess. It doesn't matter. You know,
He just wants to be loved.
Exactly. He's so. But if they wanted to have a none of them, I kind of spoiled it. According to that review, that ends up open ended. But if I were to end it, Joe would have to, and a character like Joe, you can't. He'll go to prison, okay, but that's not the right ending for Joe.
You think he ends up with Marianne?
No, he doesn't end up married.
He ends up with the girl. Happy ever after.
No, he's more apt to end up with one of these freaking psychos, and a lady
Kate's
Phoebe.
awesome in her own right. I don't trust her either.
No, you crazy? I don't, trust.
Look, was it Royds?
No,
I mean, it's a weird name.
rolled.
He was ready to plug. He was ready to park 2 buckshots to his back.
He was gonna. I mean, he was gonna.
No hunting accident. Boom.
Would have bust the cap right in his freaking noggin until
they had medieval swords. They were gonna cut him up in the middle of the parlor.
The Fox and the Hound. That was freaking great. But yeah, I mean, let's go, Joe.
All right. Since it is the 4th and final season, since the last book is going to be put out, this has to be grand finale. Anything less would be disappointing.
Yeah.
Right now, everyone out there, please tune in and binge. There's a lot of good shows out right now, but it's one of the better ones, and you are definitely. It's not a dud as many other series that just go longer than they should. Their expiration date. Hopefully, this is the nice grand finale.
Yeah,
kick-ass grand finale.
It's well acted. It's a guilty pleasure. It works, and it's a very good show. I mean, which
our mid-season grade, I'm giving it a 7.5 or 8 out of 10, somewhere in that neighborhood. High 7s out of 10.
I gave it probably 7.4, 7.2, 7.4.
Yeah.
That's just because it's obviously midway through, and we'll see how it continues. But I have no problem that it's going to be very, very, very good.
All right, guys. So that's it. That's Joe the Fucky. Season 4. Let us know what you think. And usual, your thoughts.
I'm Izzy.
I'm Raka. Thanks for joining us. Remember to always, always save the whales.
Take care, guys.